So hello everyone, and thank you for joining our examinations webinar today. My name is Rosie and I am an examinations administrator here at the Ophthalmology Foundation. Just as a quick overview, the Ophthalmology Foundation has been in operation for just over 5 years now, and it is dedicated to eradicating unnecessary blindness through education worldwide, especially in under-resourced countries. We offer various programs in education, such as mentorship and faculty development, but we're here today to talk to you about our latest initiative, which is our examinations. The Ophthalmology Foundation is very much a global initiative. We have a board made up of members throughout the world, as well as our examinations dedicated committee, again, which has members across the globe. Before we get to our presentations, I would just like to ask each of our panelists to introduce themselves, starting with Nicola.
Hello, thank you, Rosie. My name is Nicola Quilter. I'm the Examinations Director for the Ophthalmology Foundation.
Thank you. And Cordula? Oh, you're on mute, Cordula.
Excuse me, please. My name is Cordula. I am from Munich, Germany, and I am in charge of the OFF Fellowship Program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then Essam?
Yes, I'm Dr. Isam Al-Touki. I'm the chairman of the Egyptian Board of Ophthalmology and a member of the examination committee in the Ophthalmology Foundation.
Thank you. And then finally, Vicky.
Hello everyone, my name is Vicky and I'm an examinations administrator for the Ophthalmology Foundation.
Thank you. Just before we get to our presentations, thank you all so much for submitting your questions upon registering for this webinar. If you do have any questions throughout the course of the webinar, there's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. So please pop any questions in there and we will get to them at the end in our Q&A section. In the meantime, Nicola, if you would like to share your presentation about our examinations. Thank you. You're on mute, Nicola. Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry. Evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today, I'm pleased to introduce the Ophthalmology Foundation International Examinations, which are internationally standardized assessments designed to support excellence, consistency, and fairness to ophthalmologists worldwide. These examinations are delivered across the world, allowing candidates from many regions to access the same high quality assessments. So wherever a candidate trains or practices, the standards remain exactly the same. At their heart, these online exams assess the knowledge across the full breadth of ophthalmology. They provide a reliable and meaningful way to benchmark performance locally, nationally, and internationally. The fees are based on the World Bank Index, meaning that they're low cost compared to any other international examination. There's a 3-way and a 6-way payment plan to also support you in your application. The question papers are aligned to the BCSE, and that alignment aligns to international standards. It covers the full breadth of ophthalmology and ophthalmologists in training, ensures consistency, relevance, and global comparability. And these questions are reviewed regularly and updated in line with BCSE developments. Oversight of the examinations are provided by an experienced international executive committee. This ensures strong governance, academic integrity, and continuous review. And as you see from the list, Louis Amaya is our chair for exams. He actually originates from Colombia, but based in the UK. We have Richard Bowman and Rebecca Ford, who are responsible for the exam papers. And then Carl Golnick, also a member, is head of our education. Bertold Seitz, a member who is head of our fellowships. And then also Essam El-Touki, who joins us this evening. The examination framework is carefully structured into 3 sections. Together, these reflect the progression from scientific foundations through optics to comprehensive and clinical practice. So we have a visual sciences paper, optics and refraction and instruments, and a clinical ophthalmology. The visual sciences consists of 120 single best answer questions, which are completed over a 3-hour period. Topics include anatomy, genetics, pharmacology, and ophthalmic pathology. Here's an example of the visual sciences question, and we're not here to test your English language, we're here to test your knowledge. So you will find that many of the questions are quite repetitive in their style. For example, we use regarding, so this one is regarding the blood-retina barrier. Which one, so we're looking for one correct answer, of the following statements is most likely to be true? You'll also notice that from A to D, the possible answers are listed alphabetically. This also means that if you were to skip the question because you're unsure and go back, then it's easily able to recall. Optics and refraction is 60 questions over an hour and a half. And that covers optics, refraction, and instruments. And each subject is clinically weighted. So 20 in optics, 20 in refraction, and 20 in instruments. This is an example of an optics and refraction instrument question. Again, which one, so one correct answer of the following is the orientation of the streak of light when performing retinoscopy for astigmatism? So we're asking for one correct answer. Again, the possible answers listed A to D are alphabetical. So clinical ophthalmology is our largest section of the examinations. It includes 160 questions over a 4-hour period, spanning all major ophthalmic subspecialties, including neuro-ophthalmology, corneal external eye disease, cataract, community and public health, and there is also a section for general medicine related to ophthalmology. Us being able to run online gives us the opportunity to use photographs, videos, and tables, and the questions are more clinically structured for clinical ophthalmology, and they'll refer to the photo, for example. So this one is a clinical question and relates to the photograph shown. Again, A to D is alphabetical. There are no negative marking in any of the 3 exam papers. So if you are unsure of a question and would like an educated guess, you won't be penalised. So my recommendation is if you are unsure, skip on to the next question. And then when you return, if you have enough time, then you're still unsure, then it's best to take an educated guess. To support candidates, we have practice questions that are available via the OF website, suggested reading lists aligned to the examination content, access to high quality examination and educational materials, and then also we're working with CyberSight, which is part of Orbis, on a dedicated portal designated for exams. And we're working on retinal glaucoma at the moment, and that will be available in the coming days. Candidates who've already demonstrated competency through recognised international examinations may be granted exemption from the OF visual and optics exam. So if you've taken and been successful in the International Council of Ophthalmology up to and including 2022, COEXA exams, who we're working with and aligned with, and also the Royal College of Examinations in the UK, so that's the Royal College of Ophthalmologists, Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow and Edinburgh. We also translate our exams to support accessibility, and they're currently translated into Chinese, French, Portuguese, Spanish, and Vietnamese. If there was another request for a different language, then we would look into that. And if you go onto the screen when you're taking your exam, the question will appear in English, and then subsequently your chosen language. All questions are written by international subject experts, and each question undergoes meticulous review to ensure clarity, relevance, and consistency. The examinations are also criterion referenced and standardized using what we call an Angoff method. This supports fairness and enables meaningful comparison of outcomes across regions and institutions. Our development of the exam is also strengthened through collaboration with leading international institutions, the Wills Eye Hospital and the Wilmer Eye Institute, and also our developed partnerships with leading institutions, for example, the Arab Board and other societies. Our delivery is modern, secure, and reliable. Candidates may sit the exam in an approved exam centre with in-person invigilation and remote AI-based monitoring. And this allows us to monitor eye movement, screen movement, and check real-time candidates' performance. And taken together, this approach reflects the principles that guide Ophthalmology Foundation. They are modern in delivery, efficient in their design, and affordable when compared to any other international exam. This ensures that high quality examination standards remain accessible without compromising academic or clinical relevance. The examinations are held twice a year in March and September, and the results are released promptly within 2 weeks of the examination. And as I always say, credit to Rosie and Vicky because the results were released within 6 days for the March exam. We believe that this alleviates many stresses and allows candidates to prepare for the next step. So why take these exams? The examinations provide internationally recognised certification. They offer a cost-effective way to demonstrate knowledge and benchmark performance against global peers. And candidates are awarded FIOF, becoming a fellow of the International Ophthalmology Foundation, and points towards an IOF fellowship. In turn, we believe that achieving a pass enhances the quality of patient care worldwide. Excellence is also recognised through the David and Molly Pyatt Travel Grants. $10,000 award is presented to the highest performing candidate over the 2 sittings in clinical ophthalmology. And I was lucky enough to make the call to the successful recipient last year. Excuse me. And they were from Ethiopia, taking the exam in Rwanda, and they're going to use their award for a fellowship. Candidates consistently describe the exams as fair, clinically relevant, and well delivered. Many highlight the clarity of the questions and the reliability of the online platform. And this is our candidate in Libya says that it's a smooth experience from start to finish. And what they mean by that is that you can apply online, you can upload your documents, you can make payment, and then your results are uploaded to the portal. So it's a very smooth process from start to finish. We also have 2 new initiatives. We've established the Global Ambassador Committee to create a network of passionate and advocates who will help raise awareness for our exams and our educational opportunities. By working together with these ophthalmologists around the world, we aim to strengthen the local engagement, build meaningful partnerships, and expand access to high-quality ophthalmic education for future generations. And this group comprises of the top passing candidates in the clinical exam. We're also launching our new partner spotlight, which will regularly feature one of our partner organisations across the Ophthalmology Foundation, all our communication channels. Each spotlight will showcase the organisation educational activities, achievement and contributions of ophthalmology, giving them greater visibility within our global community. And it's another way of recognising the value of our partnerships, helping others learn about their excellence work taking place around the world. And our first spotlight is with the Arab Board, and you can now find that via our website. So what does the future look like for us? Well, we're going to continue running the visual optics and clinical exams. We're also adding subspecialty exams from March 27, and that will be in retina and glaucoma. And then subsequent to that, in September sitting next year, we'll be adding oculoplastics and 3 further subspecialty exams. We're in discussion with the Royal College of Glasgow regarding reciprocity, and we hope to be able to announce our collaboration there in the next few days. And what that would mean is that you will be exempt from elements of their exam if successful in ours. And then we're also working with Cordula and Berthold Seitz on the OF fellowships. And what that means is that it will be a prerequisite to have passed either the visual or clinical sciences clinical ophthalmology exam for the OF to be able to apply for one of the fellowship. So this next slide shows you the QR code. You can scan the code to get further information. And we're on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And what I would say is we are modern, we are efficient, and we are affordable. So these exams are high quality, low cost, and accessible to you. So we warmly invite you to register for the upcoming exam session and take part in the globally recognised standards of assessment in ophthalmology. Application process is open. You have until the end of July to register for September. So thank you very much for your time today. I look forward to hopefully seeing your face on an application form soon. If you have any questions, pop them in the box. But if you then think of something afterwards, then please reach out via email. Many thanks.
Great. Thank you very much, Nicola. And Essam, if you would now like to share your presentation, thank you.
I just want to stress how international certification and standardization has become important, particularly in our part of the region, where mobility and doctors traveling from one place to another, working in a different place where they're graduated, is a major player or major factor now in the Middle East. So standardized examination is very helpful, is very required, basic requirement now. And now with the relation with the Arab Board, with the Egyptian Board of Ophthalmology, with the United Kingdom Royal Colleges, the OF examination will play a major role and will be very beneficial for our young ophthalmologists.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Essam. Thank you. Cordula, if you would now like to share your presentation on our fellowships program. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. So share my screen, and here we are. Okay, can you see it? Yeah, you can. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to speak about, to introduce you to the EOFF Fellowship Program. EOFF actually stands for International Ophthalmological Fellowship Foundation. We are a German charity founded in 2007, and we are committed to enhancing eye care education and delivery in low-resource and underserved countries. Our program invites highly motivated young ophthalmologists from low-resource and underserved countries to apply for a 3 months, a 6 months, or a 1-year EOFF OF subspecialty fellowship, which can be served at an international teaching center. Mainly these are university eye clinics, huge tertiary centers, or teaching institutions. Our fellows are committed to return to the home country immediately after having completed the EOFF OF subspecialty fellowship. They resume their position and take part in programs to preserve vision and prevent blindness. The majority of our fellowships is classified as observership, which is due to national regulations in the host countries. However, we are very happy that in some host institutions in India, Bangladesh, and China, it is possible to undergo a training in cataract surgery, in glaucoma, or oculoplastic as clinical or even surgical experience. We do not offer a degree, and we do not have a curriculum that needs to be followed. Reason for this is that the educational level in subspecialty training is very different through all the countries. And we aim at supporting individual candidates by enhancing personal skills in eye care. And we want our candidates to have the chance to focus on challenges they come across in their daily work. So here is an overview on our opportunities. So the 3 months fellowship goes with an award of 5,000 euros to $6,000 maximum, depending on who is actually sponsoring organization. We have around 100 awards per year for this opportunity. Then we have a special program for retinoblastoma, where actually our candidates can serve their training in a center where the relevance of retinoblastoma is relatively high. This is in collaboration with the Eye Cancer Foundation from the United States, and it goes with an award of $8,000. So we have 2 awards for the 1-year fellowship in collaboration with the Retina Research Foundation. The stipend is $35,000, and it is not only possible to choose retina, but also to choose any of the other subspecialties. And a very special fellowship we are offering is in collaboration with the AOI, with the Academia Ophthalmologica Internationalis. It's a 1-year research fellowship for somebody who is doing a research project in a translational research project and who wants to continue this project at a laboratory or a clinic somewhere abroad from here where he or she lives. This is going with a stipend of $12,000. It may not be possible to cover all expenses during a fellowship with the stipend, but it is a very big support and helps a lot to cover the expenses. So where do we have our host centers? We have a lot of host centers in the US because we're collaborating with we have very good connections to clinics in the US. The density of host centers in Europe is also very high. We have 20 host institutions only in Germany, since this is because we are a German initiative and we have very good connections to German chairmen in ophthalmology. But also we have teaching institution, one in Egypt, in Latin America, in India, in Australia, so kind of everywhere around the world. This is about the awareness of the EOF-FOF fellowship program. So the countries that are marked in red actually are host countries. The countries that are marked in yellow are countries where our candidates come from. And the ones that are marked in red and black actually are so-called hybrid countries. This is where we are actually having host institutions and where we also have candidates from. For example, in Egypt, we are collaborating with the Eye World Center in Giza, close to Cairo. What are the most popular host countries? Actually, it is India, because of the opportunity to undergo surgical training in some centers, in some subspecialties. It is US, it is UK, and it is Germany. We are also having collaborations with hosts in French-speaking countries, for example, in France, and also in Portugal, where we are inviting candidates from Lusophone African countries to apply for the opportunities there. So, of course, France is for French-speaking candidates from the Western African countries. The most popular subspecialties actually is cataract surgery. It is followed by glaucoma, pediatric ophthalmology, cornea and external diseases, oculoplastic, and the retinas. It is important to mention that we are not supporting refractive surgery and aesthetic surgery, as these two surgeries are not considered to be a basic need for poor people from low resource and underserved countries. This is about the eligibility, the application process. First, eligibility. Our candidates hold nationally off and are permanently based in a low resource or underserved country. Ideally, our candidates are 40 years of age at the time of submitting the application. We want to support the younger generation of ophthalmologists who still have a long time of their career in front of them. And so we think it is very important to train these young ophthalmologists in a thorough and careful way. Our candidates have completed their residency training and they have obtained their specialist in ophthalmology degree. Of course, they come with a strong recommendation from the previous chair, who could be the residency director or the present chair. And ideally, they hold public services or teaching positions. And of course, as mentioned before, our candidates are committed to resume their position after the training to apply the newly acquired skills and knowledge and teach their colleagues. It is very important that a candidate has a very clear idea of what aspects in the subspecialty one wishes to focus on. So it will not be possible to learn vitreoretina in 3 months, but if there is an ongoing problem, if there is an ongoing or a recurring challenge in a subspecialty, this is something that can be dealt about. The Ophthalmology Foundation examinations find strong consideration in our assessment, and actually the exams really push up the application to a much higher rank in our ranking. From 2027 onwards, from September 2027 onwards, the OF examinations will be a mandatory requirement for an application for our program. This is about the application process. So information on the program is available on our website, www.eoff.org. And there you will find an online registration form, which is available in English, French, Portugal, and Spanish. And it has an upload section for requested documents. These are a scan of the passport showing nationality, a picture portrait, specialist in ophthalmology degree, including a certified translation into English, if it is only in Arabic, 2 recommendation letters. Of course, also these should be issued in English language and be duly signed by the issuer. And if available, the OF examination certificates. After that, will be submission for the eligibility confirmation, and we will return a so-called application summary to the candidate, who is then allowed to choose and contact the favorite host from the EOFF host network. Usually the preceptor or the host will invite for a short interview, and then they can agree on a proposed start date. The host finally decides and will return the duly signed host notice of acceptance form to the candidate and to our office, and then the application will be complete and will be processed for expert review and funding decision. So the next application deadline actually will close on July 31st, but if you have not yet started an application, then this is pretty close. So better go for the next application deadline, which is February 28, 2027. And the one after that will be August 1st, 2027. As mentioned before, we consider the Ophthalmology Foundation examinations and recommend. This is how the EOFF-OF Subspecialty Fellowship Host Network looks like. It is searchable by country, city, by host institution, by host's name, by subspecialty, and also by duration. And a click on the link to the host institution actually brings you to this page where you have details on the host institute and on the subspecialty offers, because not every host center offers all subspecialties. So it is always very important to have a look if what you're looking for is actually offered by the center. You will find the preceptor's name and the direct contact to the preceptor or to the contact person who is in charge of the guest doctor's visits at the host institute. And then our congratulations go to Dr. Niuma, to Dr. Baba, and to Dr. Al-Bishari, who have successfully set the Ophthalmology Foundation examinations and who applied for an EOFF-OF fellowship and won an award. And we're looking forward to seeing your name on that slide as well. Our special congratulations go to Dr. Gebre Kidan from Ethiopia or Rwanda, who was awarded the prestigious David and Molly Foundation Travel Grant. And he is actually in course of choosing and contacting a host for his fellowship opportunity. Here are some experience reports from our former candidate or former fellows. For example, Dr. Nomo from Cameroon, she served in France, and her fellowship was supported by the German Ophthalmological Society. And it was very nice because she actually speaks French in Cameroon and went to a French host, so there was no language problem. Somebody from India went to Kellogg Eye Institute in Michigan at the University of Michigan Health in Ann Arbor, and also she was very satisfied with her experience. Somebody from also from Cameroon, also going to Kellogg Eye, he was supported by CBM Germany. And a warm thank you goes to our sponsors. We are collaborating with international ophthalmic societies, with international ophthalmic industry, with private and public foundations. And we are very happy to have such a broad basis for the funding of our fellowship program. Here are the important links to our website and also the contact data. And I thank you very much for your attention, and I'll stay until the end. So if you've got any questions, you may address them when Wiki says it's time for it. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Cordula, for that presentation. We will begin the Q&A session now, so I can see a couple have come through in the box. Please put any more that you may have in there. And we also have some from registration. So Vicky, if you wouldn't mind starting the Q&A session, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. So the first question we have is for Nicola. Aside from the title FIOF, will there be a certificate issued after passing the clinical ophthalmology exam? Nicola?
Sorry, we have a really nice, good quality certificate for each of these exams. It's embossed, it's a hologram signed by the president and the head of exams. And then for clinical, you will receive a fellow of the International Ophthalmology Foundation that will be on your certificate. So something to be proud of and put on the wall.
Thank you very much. The next question is for Cordula. For somebody that wants to apply for fellowship, is it required that they have to have set the application if they are starting the funding and the application now, or is it from late 2027?
It is the requirement is active from September 2027 onwards. So the next application deadline, February 2027, will be with the recommendation of sitting the OF examinations, but it's not mandatory at that time. I hope I was answering your question, because honestly I couldn't really hear you so well.
Thank you. You answered it great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The next question we have is for Essam. What are the benefits for Egyptian ophthalmologists taking the examinations?
As I said, in addition to the standardization, know where do you stand in relation to other ophthalmologists, the agreement with the Egyptian Ophthalmic Society and the Egyptian Board of Ophthalmology offers an advantage for Egyptians who apply for the fellowship, and make sure that at least 2 of them will be out of the 70 accepted nominees per year. So that's a very big advantage to Egyptian candidates.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is for Nicola. If one has written the previous ICO examinations, including ICO clinical as of November 2021, are they able to just get a certificate from the Ophthalmology Foundation, or have they got to have passed the exams? Whether it be visual, optics, and clinical, what is the pathway for that?
No, so we'll exempt you from our visual and optics, because we're not asking you to go back and sit the basic exams, but you will, to obtain FIOF, you will need to take and pass the clinical exam.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is for Nicola. Are the examinations with the Ophthalmology Foundation equivalent to the ICO?
So are they equivalent to ICO? So we accept that the ICO exams are of the same quality as our exams up to and including 2022. So we will not offer any exemptions post that, because we don't believe the standard is the same. So therefore, what I'm going to say is our exams are more accessible, they're modern, so they're online, and they are affordable. So they are at least half the cost of any other international exam available at the moment. We release the results within 2 weeks, even less, and then that alleviates stress. So I believe that our exams are of the highest quality, and they also have access to more fellowships. So there are more fellowships offered through this process. So being successful in the Ophthalmology Foundation exam gives you access to more fellowships. So overall, we're better.
Thank you very much. The next question is for Cordula. This
Yes.
candidate has FECO. They've passed the advanced exam in 2019, and they've also got MRCSED. Are they able to get a subspecialty fellowship program with you, but they're 42?
So actually, we have the age limit actually refers to the fact that we want to support young ophthalmologists. But if somebody's 42 at the time of submitting the application, we are a little flexible when it comes to that, because we want to find highly motivated candidates whose training makes a lot of impact on and positive impact on the situation of eye care delivery in the home institution, rather than just those who are under 40 years of age. So this person is welcome to contact me, and then we can look through the qualifications. However, it is necessary that somebody, yes, no, sorry, that was too much.
Thank you, Cordula. The next
Thank
question
you.
we have is regarding expiration dates. Do the exams run out? Do they expire? Is there a time limit to take the whole program, or is it just when they can?
No, we recommend that you take the basic visual sciences and optics and refraction in your first, second year of training, and then the clinical between your third and fourth year of training. Again, it depends on where you are in your process of training and how confident you are. And there's no expiration date on any of the examinations. So, you know, if you take the visual this year and it's successful, then you may want to take the optics or clinical in 4 years' time. So there's no expiry date. I just think it needs to be worked into your system, and also how confident you are. It's a flexible system, so you know, you just have to make sure that you've got enough time to prepare, and there is no limit on the number of sittings that you can take. We want you to pass first time, and that's why we provide you with suggested reading lists, test questions, etc. But if you're not successful, then you know, you can take the exam in the next sitting or leave it a few years. It's up to you.
Thank you very much. The next question we have is, what revision time would you suggest for each exam?
So our application process for the September exam actually closes at the end of July, and we'll probably extend that for a week because of the number of applications coming through. So we think that's sufficient amount of time to prepare. So if you decide now, we believe that you've got enough time to make sure that you're prepared for September. Don't forget that a lot of the questions are you know, based on your normal practice, everyday practice. And then if you use our suggested reading list and prep questions and Orbis, you know, Orbis questions or cyber questions, sorry, then you have ample time. But just, you know, also depends, you know, what other commitments you have. If you've got family and work commitments, you know, you're in as an individual, you need to be able to gauge how much time you can set aside for preparation.
Thank you. The next question we have is for Essam. How will the Ophthalmology Foundation examinations complement ophthalmology training in Egypt, and what advantages do they offer young ophthalmologists?
There might be no direct relationship between the training of the Ophthalmology Foundation exams, but the Ophthalmology Foundation exams makes you understand where do you stand. So it shows your level in comparison to other trainees all over the world. So it shows you if you're on the right track or not. And holding this certificates will definitely put you on the highest standard compared, for example, to the Royal College exams, the Arab board exam, or even the American board exams. And as I said, there is an advantage that Egyptian trainees who fulfill the criteria of the Ophthalmology Foundation fellowships will get an advantage to apply and the chance to get 2 of these 70 or 70 plus fellowships per year. So you have 2 advantages: knowing where you stand and more chances for the fellowships.
Thank you very much, Essam. The next question we have is for Nicola. Do we supply us a revision list to the candidates?
On our website, there is a topic list, which is a reduced down topic list taken from the BCSC. So I suggest you look at that. We also have a suggested reading list, which has a list free material, suggested books. We understand the BCSC is expensive, so we're not expecting you to go and purchase that. But if you use our material and our prep questions with CyberSite and on our website, then those have been looked at and reviewed by our committee. So they are, they give you an insight to the format of question we're using, the style of question we're using, the standard of question we're using, and what we're looking for. So I would recommend that you use all of those materials available to you from the OF in prep for taking one of our exams.
Thank you very much. The last question that we have is, will the Ophthalmology Foundation exams help with gaining FRCS?
So we are currently in discussions with the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Glasgow, and we hope to be able to announce something in the coming days. I can't go into too much detail, but hopefully it will mean that if you've taken and been successful in our exams, you will be exempt from elements of their exam. As I say, we hope to announce that in the coming days.
Thank you very much, Rosie. That is all the questions we've had, so back to you.
Great. Thank you, Vicky. And thank you everyone for attending this webinar today. We have recorded it, so it'll be uploaded to our YouTube and we will send you the link once it is live there. I have put in our contact details into the chat box and Cordula's as well. So if you have any questions about the exams or fellowship program, please feel free to reach out to any of us. We're also active on social media, so you can find us just by looking up Ophthalmology Foundation across LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram. I've also just popped the sample questions and suggested reading list in the chat box, as well as where you can register for the exam. So we look forward to hearing from you soon and supporting you in your examinations journey. And thanks again, everyone, for joining this evening. It's been lovely to hear from all of you. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.